Good morning, 10th graders. Welcome to the lesson. Today, we're going to revise exercises of Unit 5 and 6. Please open your book on page 62 and answer the questions with me. So, let's look at the third exercise. It's a revision for Unit 5, Social Problems, page 47. Circle the correct word for each situation. Number 1. It's difficult to find a job. Unemployment or integration. Unemployment is the state of not having a job or the state of being unemployed. Integration is when people become part of a group or a society and accepted by them. So the answer is unemployment. Number 2. A lot of people can't read or write. Wealth or illiteracy? The answer is illiteracy. Illiteracy is when you are not able to write or read. Wealth is a large amount of money, is when you have a large amount of money and other valuable possessions. So it's illiteracy. Number 3. A lot of people have nowhere to live. Homelessness or eating disorders? Well, the answer is homelessness. Homelessness is when you don't have a house or a home to live. Eating disorders are the disturbed eating habits. Number 4. Most people don't have enough money. Poverty or health? Well, poverty is the state of being poor, and health is when you are free from illness or injury. So the answer is poverty. Number 5. Some students try to make another student afraid. Employment or bullying? The answer is bullying. Employment means when you are employed, when you have a job. Bullying is any act of intimidation or victimization. It could be verbally or physically. So the answer is bullying. Number 4. This is a revision for Unit 5, Nouns and Verbs with the same form, page 50. Decide if the words in the bold are verbs or nouns. There's an easy way to recognize the noun from the verb, and that is you have to know that nouns are mostly preceded by an article, while verbs are preceded by a subject. Number 1. He was a great influence on her. And here we can see that it is preceded by an article, so it's a noun. And she copied everything he did. And as you can see, the verb is preceded by a subject. Number 2. In the report, the writer protests about the increasing traffic problems. Report is a noun, and as you can see, it's preceded by an article. Protests is the verb. And it's preceded by the subject. Number 3. She wants to use her experience to campaign for less pollution. And as you can see, experience is the noun and campaign is the verb. Number 4. We hope he hasn't told us any lies. And here you can see this hope is the verb and it's preceded by the subject, and lies is the noun. Number 5. They can contact us via email if they want to be participants. And contact is the verb, and here you can see it's preceded by the subject, and participants is the noun. Unit 6. The media, page 55. Choose the correct answer. The newspaper circulation scoop is down to 55,000 copies a day. Well, the correct answer is circulation. Circulation means the number of newspapers or magazines that are sold. Scoop means the existing news or the exciting news that a newspaper publishes before anyone else. So the correct answer is circulation. Number 2, a photographer or a camera crew arrived and filmed the firefighters rescuing the hotel guests. The answer is camera crew, because a photographer means someone or a person who takes photographs. Camera crew means a group of people who film something, and they are filming something, so the answer is camera crew. Number 3, there's a headline or an interview with the president in the magazine. Headline means the title of a newspaper article. An interview is a meeting where someone asks you questions to see if you are suitable or to see what are your answers. So the answer is an interview. Number 6. It's a revision for Unit 6, negative prefixes, page 58. The adjectives have the wrong prefixes, correct them. So let's correct the adjectives. You're too young to drive a car, it's dislegal. Well, the correct answer is illegal. We use IL to form the prefix of legal, which means not allowed by law. Number 2, this newspaper is independent and ill-biased. The correct answer is unbiased. We use un to form the prefix or the negative prefix of biased. Unbiased means showing favor, not to show favor to a group of people or to someone's opinion. Number 4, illiterate, and this is wrong, and the correct prefix is ill. Illiterate people can't read or write. Illiterate means to be unable to read or write. Page 63, Unit 5, conditionals, and this is a revision for page 48, 49. Open student's book on page 63. Exercise 4. Match 1 to 6 to AF. Make conditional sentences. Number 1. If students study hard, and this is the zero conditional, and you can recognize it's the zero conditional. First thing, we have a present simple tense with the if clause. And the answer is D. They passed their exams. Again, in the result clause, we have a present simple. So it's the zero conditional. Number 2. And also, this sentence talks about a general truth. And now, number 2. If we had known, and this is the third conditional, because we had the past perfect tense with the if clause. The answer is A. We would have told you. And we have used would have plus the past participle in the result clause. Number 3. I would speak perfect English, and this is the second conditional because we have would and the infinitive in the result clause. The answer is B. If I lived in England, and here we have the past simple tense with the if clause. Number 4. They'll help you, and this is the first conditional. We have will in the result clause, and the answer is E. If you ask them, and here we have the present simple form or the present simple tense with the if clause or with the condition clause. If I was on holiday, and this is the second conditional because we have the past simple tense with the condition clause, and the answer is if. I would go somewhere interesting, and here we have would and the infinitive with the result clause. It wouldn't have been so bad, and this is the third conditional. We have wouldn't plus have and past participle in the result clause. And the answer is C. If it hadn't rained, and here's the past perfect form in the condition clause. Exercise 5. Put the verbs in the correct 0, first, second, or third conditional form. If we invite Jane, she'll come with us. And here we are talking about a probable situation. So the answer is the first conditional, will, plus the infinitive. Number 2. I would visit the museum if I lived in Paris. And this situation is improbable or imaginary, so it's the second conditional, and the answer is lived, past simple. Number 3. If we'd gone, we would have enjoyed it. And this is a hypothetical situation. So this is the third conditional, and here we have used the past perfect. Number 4. If gas becomes hot, it explodes. This is a general truth or a scientific fact, so this is the 0 conditional, and here we have used the present simple tense. Number 5. If we lived in Japan, we would go to school on Saturday mornings. And also this is an improbable or an imaginary situation, so with the result clause we will use would and the infinitive. Number 6. The play will be good if they rehearse a lot. And this is the first conditional. We're talking about a possible or probable situation, so we have to use the present simple with the if clause. Number 7. If you put oil with water, the oil flows on the water. And this is also a general truth or a scientific fact, so we use the present simple in the condition clause. Number 8. I would have had problems if Chloe hadn't helped me. This is a hypothetical situation, so it's a third conditional. So we have to form the result clause with the would have plus the past participle. Decide if, and this is D is had or would. This is a contraction for had or would. So we have to decide whether if it's had or would. Number 1. I'd have gone if I'd had time. This is would because here's the if conditional, and after the if conditional we use the past perfect, and here is would and have and the past participle. If they'd been, and this is the if clause, so this is had. If they'd been here, we'd have told them, and this is would. You'd have met her if you'd visited last week, and this is the if clause, so here's had and here's would. If she'd asked, I'd have given it to her. This is the if clause, so here's, or the condition clause, and here's had, and the other D would be would. Complete the third conditional sentences with the pairs of verbs in the box. And this exercise in page 64, so open your student's book on page 64. Number 1. And all these sentences are in the third conditional, so let's fill in the gap. If I had had some money, I would have caught the bus. Number 2. If Danny hadn't become a teacher, she would have been a doctor. Number 3. We would have visited Petra if we had gone to Jordan. Number 4. If it hadn't rained, we would have played tennis. Number 5. They wouldn't have met if they hadn't come to the chess club. Number 6. If you had woken me, I wouldn't have missed the exam. Number 7. They would have had an accident if they hadn't stopped for a rest. Number 8. If we had known the film was so bad, we wouldn't have seen it. Exercise number 9. And this is Unit 6 revision for reported speech, page 56, and reported questions, page 57. Write the reported speech statements in direct speech. He said he saw Mido. And in the direct, this is I see Mido. Don't forget that if you want to report the reported speech or to return the statements into the direct speech, you have to imagine that you are the speaker. And if you have in the reported speech a past simple, so it will be in the present simple in the direct speech. Number 2. They said they weren't enjoying German lessons. And here we have past continuous, and in the direct, the past continuous originally is present continuous. So the answer is we aren't enjoying German lessons. Number 3. She told me she had bought a new book the week before. And don't forget, if the reported speech is in the past perfect, the direct speech will be in the past simple. The answer is I bought a new book, and don't forget about the time expressions. You have to return it as they were in the original. So the week before is last week. I bought a new book last week. Number 4. We told them we would win the match. And would in the direct speech is will. So the answer is we'll win the match. Number 5. The teacher said the homework was easy. So here we have a past simple, and in the direct it is a present simple. The homework is easy. Number 6. I told him I was having dinner. And here we have past continuous. So in the direct it is the present continuous. I'm having dinner. Number 7. Jack said he had been to America 3 times. And here we have past perfect. So in the direct speech it is the present perfect. I've been to America 3 times. Number 8. We told them we'd see them the week after. And here we have also a time expression, and we have to do it in the direct speech. And would in the direct is will. We'll see you next week. Correct the mistakes in the report questions. 3 of the reported questions are correct. Let's look at the questions. He asked, and here there's an if clause. He asked if or when the match started, and we have to delete if. This is the mistake. Number 2, they asked us whether we wanted to go, and the mistake is that we don't have, we have a question mark, and we don't put question marks in reported questions. Number 3, Mom asked Dad if he had bought some bread, and this sentence is correct. Number 4, the policeman asked me how old was I, and the order of the sentence or the order and the end of the sentence is wrong. We don't say was I, and it is I was. Number 5, Mark asked if we were still living in Silver Street, and this sentence is correct. Number 6, Amy asked him if he didn't know the answer, and we don't repeat the auxiliary verbs in the reported questions, so we have to form it with the past simple tense. Amy asked him if he knew the answer. Number 7, the teacher asked where had I left my bag, and here also there's a wrong order for the words. So we have to write I had. The correct answer is the teacher asked where I had left my bag. Number 8, Phil asked how it worked, and this sentence or this reported question is correct. Exercise 11, choose the correct answer. So we have to choose one of these reporting verbs. Maybe you will see here new reporting verbs, but we will explain the rules for them. Avril Lavigne told them that her new CD was very personal. There's an object, and we don't use an object after the reporting verb said. Number 2. The reporters asked him if he had ever scored a better goal. And this is a reported question, so we don't use answered. Number 3, the teacher explained that we had to write a simple computer program. And this is a reported statement and not a reported question. So we don't use the reporting verb ask, we use the reporting verb explain. Number 4, Dad told us to clean the car. Then he added that we had to tidy our bedrooms. And here we use the reporting verb added and not told because there is no object after told. So we use added. Number 5, the actor replied that he was going to write his autobiography. And this is not a reported question, so we use the reporting verb replied. Number 6, Lorna asked when the concert was. And this is a reported question and not a reported statement, so we use the reporting verb asked. Exercise 12. Are the sentences about reported speech true or false? And this is a good question, and considered it as a reminder or as a revision for the reported speech rules. Number 1. We can use if or whether in reported auxiliary verb questions. Yes, we can use if or whether. Number 2. The word order in a reported question is the same as in a direct question, and this is wrong. We change when we report questions, the word order changes as in the reported statements. Number 3. In reported speech, the present perfect and the past simple change to the past perfect, and this is true. This is the rule. If you have a present perfect, you will change it to past perfect, and if you have past perfect, you will change it in the reported statement to the past perfect. If you have past simple, you will change it to the past perfect. Number 4, we change pronouns and possessive adjectives in reported speech, which is true. Number 5, we always use that in reported statements, and this is incorrect. You can omit that. You can choose whether to write that or to omit it. Number 6, we use a question mark with reported questions. This is false. You can't use question marks in reported questions. Number 7, we can omit the personal object after the verb ask, but we can never omit it after the verb tell. This is true. You can say, he asked me if I like, or you can say, he asked if I like. You can omit me, the object me. But if you use told, he told me that he wanted, and we can say that he told me he wanted. You have to, you can say he told me he wanted. You have to use the personal object after told. So this is true. Number 8, we use inverted commas in reported speech. This is incorrect, so it's false. We don't use inverted commas in reported speech. We use it in the direct speech, but not in the reported speech. Now open your workbook on page 46 so that we can answer the Unit 5 and 6 revision exercises. Let's start with exercise 5. Choose the correct adjective and complete it with the correct negative prefix. Trainers with a suit, how inappropriate. Number 2. Copying CDs for other people is illegal. Number 3. My teacher was dissatisfied with my result. Number 4. I was unaware of the issue until yesterday. Exercise 6. Choose the correct answer. This software includes games that are inappropriate for young children. Number 2. The newspaper headlines say bullying at schools has increased. Number 3. We are campaigning for the government to do more about delinquency. And delinquency is small crimes done by young people. Number 4. All these celebrities, famous people, are a bad design influence on young people. Page 49. Complete the table. Well, here we have the tenses and the time expressions. We have to change it from the direct speech to reported or vice versa. Tenses, present simple, past simple. If in reported speech, if the tense was in the past continuous, we have to do it in the direct, in the present continuous. Present perfect, past perfect, past simple, past perfect, will, would. Time expressions: today, that day, yesterday, the day before, tomorrow, the day after. Exercise 8. Complete the text with the words in the box. So let's answer this exercise. Okay. GetItInternet.com spoke to Manchester Rovers player Dwayne Rooney yesterday. We asked him if he would leave Rovers soon. He answered that he was staying with the club. He added that his contract was for 5 years. We asked him if he had a good game against Liverpool the day before. He said he had enjoyed the game very much. We asked where he would play for England, in midfield or attack. He wasn't sure and told us that it depended on the manager. We wished him good luck. Exercise 9. Match 1 to 8 with A to H to make sentences and questions. Number 1. What will you? The answer is D. What will you be doing next weekend? Number 2. They asked me if, and the answer is G. I had told her. Number 3. We're going to, and the answer is E. We're going to see the new exhibition. Number 4. Would you ask for an autograph? And the answer is F, if you met a celebrity. Number 5. The president arrives, and it's with H, at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Number 5. He asked me where, and the answer is A. I was living. Number 7. My grandparents used, and the answer is C, to live in France, but they've moved now. Number 8. I would have been at the concert, and the answer is B, if I had had a ticket.